Hello guys, my name's Shannon, in case you didn't already know that, and this is going to be my science autobiography. So my experience with science, I have always loved it. It's always been one of my favorite, if not my favorite subject, and aside from just like you get to do a lot of hands-on stuff, in my opinion the actual content that you're learning is the most interesting. Like, it's cool to figure out all these things about like the world and stuff. In elementary school, I don't have a very good memory, but I remember it constantly being like experiments, like hands-on, moving around the classroom, like going on field trips. There was always something exciting to do, like that was very engaging. Like, for some reason, I really remember the rock lab. Like, there was different kind of rocks. Like, there was a yellow rock that smelled bad, or like rocks that were sparkly, or ones that you could like draw with. And for some reason, I just thought that was the coolest thing ever. I don't know why. It was probably like in kindergarten. I remember like going to parks and like testing water, or like observing the ecosystem. I just remember it always being fun things that we got to do, and it wasn't like boring or tedious. It was always like I looked forward to having science or whatever. And I think that definitely, I hope to translate that into my future classrooms, being that I'll be at the elementary level, so that really opens the door for me to have my students have these experiences with the world, like being able to explore it in a hands-on way and make them love science just as I did at that age. Moving on to middle school, I still love science, and I thought like those black desks that you got to sit in, like the black tables, were the coolest thing ever, and I used to write with my eraser on them, and I just thought that those were awesome. But it was definitely a little bit harder. Like, you were learning more information, you got tested on it more, but there was still fun things. Like, I remember doing the electricity circuit sort of lab thing, and I thought that was so cool. There was still a lot of experiments. We got to use more like chemicals this time around, and even if it was like not dangerous at all, you got to wear like the goggles and you felt like you were a scientist. And so I still enjoyed it in middle school. And moving on to high school, it got way harder. I'm sure I took other sciences, but the only one I can really remember is taking AP Environmental. And I remember I sat at the very front of the room, and it was the most boring class I have ever had. Like, I loved my teacher, but there was so much content and so much lecturing. Like, we never got out of our seats, we never did anything. It was all just like memorization and just constant information being thrown at you. I remember every single morning I would take one of those like little 5-hour energy shots, because I sat in the front and I would be like nodding off, and I would feel so bad because the teacher, I guess, could obviously see me falling asleep. So I started taking one of those every day, and at the end of the year, my car had like this bag of empty 5-hour energies in it. It was so awful and probably really bad for me, but I got through it. But that didn't ruin my thoughts on science. Like, when I first got to college, I took chemistry and the Bio 201 or whatever, and I still thought it was like really interesting. Like, I liked what I was learning. I thought the information was cool, and it was, difficult, but I enjoyed it, And then this ruined science for me altogether. I took Bio 202, and it was the hardest class I have ever taken in my entire life. Like, it was so difficult. I tried harder than I've tried ever in any single class, and I still got a C, and that's like my only C. That class like haunts me. It was so hard. It was like learning all the different like levels of species, I guess, and like all those crazy long names that like I couldn't even name one to you right now because they're so ridiculous. But anyway, that class was terrible for me, and after that I have not taken another science class, so that ruined it for me. But I guess I still have really fond memories of science, and I think it's just so easy to make science fun. So I really hope that I'm able to do that in my classroom, and that's what I'm really excited about with this class, that it'll teach me tools and resources that I can use to bring science to life, I guess, in my classroom. But yeah, thanks for watching.